Well, traditionally, what has our hiring process for freshers been, right? Like any traditional company, what we would do is we would screen them based on their marks, do an analytical IQ test, followed by a few technical tests, followed by rounds of interviews. With the advent of digital, we started proctoring these better as well, right? We could screen a lot many more candidates. One thing that we were missing in this entire discussion was, and even after 15 minutes or 20 minutes of an interview, how well can I identify the most important thing, which is attitude of a resource, right? That's something that I've been grappling with for a while. So last week when my team came to me and said, sir, this week we're going to go out for campus recruitments and get the summer interns in, right? I said, well, I again said the same thing, this will be a problem. But suddenly from the problem, we moved out to a solution and we said, let's do a hackathon. Well, the first reaction of my team, shock and awe, more shock, less awe. How do you expect us to complete this entire process in the next 1 week? Uh, well, that's good, but that's what they did. Monday evening we discussed, and that's what my team is all about. Saturday, our finals were done and we had a list of candidates. Monday evening we decided on our shortlist process. Tuesday the hackathon was rolled out. uh, Wednesday we shared problems. These problems, what were these problems? These were problems related to BFSI, aviation, some of our internal cloud and cloud sec problems. It's things that we've always been wanting to do, certain things, problem statements that some of our customers have given us, but well, for the want of time, we've never been able to deliver them. A lot of these things have been, we'll figure out when we have some time, and time never comes in. So we gave these resources, people who applied 48 hours to, with 5 or 6 problem statements to come back to us. Wednesday afternoon, we had 170 registrations. That's about 90 teams. We gave them 48 hours. Friday afternoon, we had 38 submissions. That's roughly about uh, 75 odd resources who applied for. We had a finals of 17 teams, right? And out of these 17 teams, we shortlisted 7 teams or 13 resources. So from about 170 odd resources, we were down to 13 resources that we finalized for internship with us. These resources, right, what they submitted to us was their Git repository, their architecture document, their working demos. These were all submitted to us, and we evaluated these candidates based on these outputs. This is what the jury did. One of the things that really surprised us when we went through this was that we had great UX UI. The applicants, the contestants, they came with subject matter expertise, right? And they were architecturally strong. Probably not designed things at scale, but had thought of the right problem statements and were amazingly motivated about solving these challenges. That's what we identified these resources as. Internally that evening, a conversation happened that we didn't need a PO, there was no developer, there was no QA, there was no DevOps cycle. All of this closed and done by this team of 1 solo participants or 2 resources, right? So that was quite an eye opener for us as an entire team. And that's also been a problem with that I've noticed over a period of time, that resources, we generate amazing engineers, Phonon, even in Phonon, I've had great engineers. Some of them have gone on to Cisco, Sun Microsystems, Oracle, Ernst & Young. One of them is the founder of a very interesting startup called Univest. So, each of these resources, A is talent retention. After a period of time, why should people say that this talent has served its time in the company, it's time for new talent? No. The bigger challenge has been, and also where I operate from, Vadodara, which is a tier 2 city, we are known for services. We hardly have any product companies around. So these were a couple of things that were going on in my mind over the weekend. And that's when I thought of this concept and shared it with my team on Monday uh, earlier this week. We run a mothership. This is our Phonon mothership that runs. And we have our business under this. But guess what? We've developed something which takes years for enterprises to develop, which is we have a corporate ecosystem. The entire architecture of a corporate structure that any company needs to flourish, to thrive, to work, to operate rather, right? You have accounts, you have HR, you have finance, you have legal and secretarial, we have marketing and GTM marketing, GTM, key accounts, project management, cloud, cloud-sec, something that founders will probably usually spend about 30-35% of their time grappling with. We have great enterprise relationships. Over the last 2 decades, we've solved some amazing problems for enterprises. We have their ear, we do a lot of business with them, we know a lot of their problems. So these enterprise relationships exist within the organization, right? And we have one more thing, which is wisdom. If I were to do it again, how faster could I do it? Right? We know we've completed those mistakes already. So, can this mothership carve out 3 more satellites in the next 6 months? Problem statement 1, problem statement 2, problem statement 3. Collections, banking collections, there are a lot of digital collection agencies, but is anyone actually doing debt rehabilitation? That's a question that comes across when I sit with some of my clients from the banking and the NBFC industry, right? How do I prevent SIP renewals? How do I enable SIP renewals rather to come through, and the mandates that fail, how do I reattach to those? These are all problems that are there, and each of these problems, there's one common thing. It's no longer about the tech. These are all problems which need to be solved today. So for each of these problems, can we have a satellite? Can we have a 3-week, 6-week build, 18-week build, right? Out of this build, we have a POC and an MVP ready, sector specific. We do a demo day. We invite our interested corporate customers, enterprises, large enterprises who need these solutions. We invite investors who are always looking at investing in such ideas, right? And maybe out of these 3 ideas, 2 don't work, and probably the first one checks all the boxes, right? People from these teams who've already had ownership developing their own solutions fold into this team. This team gets augmented with more amazing resources, right? There's a founding team that we have. This mothership, right, owns a part of this, right? And while owning a part of this entire process, there is a partial ownership with the founding team which is working on this product, and the mothership already builds this ecosystem. So the question is, last 20 years I built probably one such company. Next 20 years, can I repeat this? This year I have 3. Next year I'll probably have 4. Year after max 6, go up to 6 every year, right? Can I build 10, 20, maybe 50 such companies in the next 20 years which are attached to this mothership but have a whole founding ecosystem around it. So I'm not talking about one entrepreneur, Ujjwal Makhija, but I'm actually talking about 50 more entrepreneurs working with this entrepreneur, right? So this is probably what's becoming very interesting. The Phonon industry foundry, the Phonon enterprise solutions foundry. So if you are investor, a potential investor, an enterprise who has problems that need to be solved, or if you are a young professional who wants to actually go entrepreneurial and not get stuck in the route of day-to-day life, probably this is something which could be a great launch pad. Want to know your thoughts, would love to hear ideas, leave your comments below, leave your inputs. And as Neo in the Matrix said, I don't know the future, I don't know how this will end, but this is, I think, a great beginning.